Hello there and welcome to the game of rugby. This is presented by Matthew Iverson. In this video we're going to look at the game of rugby and some of the skills that are involved, as well as some of the dynamics of the sport, including the scrum, the ruck, and the line out. The scrum is one of the most important parts of the rugby game. During the scrum half will re-enter the ball into play after a penalty or a knock-on. When the ball is entered, both teams will fight for possession. Coach John Brewerton of the Austin Rugby Club will explain the dynamics of the scrum.
What we're about to see in front of us is a scrum. Crouch, touch, pause, engage.
Coming. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
Right. Example there is what happens is when the scrum is set, it's 8 guys entering as one and calling in unison. The cadence is generally crouch, touch, pause, engage. What we also have in the scrum is we have a front row, which is the 3 guys which start at the front of the scrum. The position wise, that's pretty much open to anyone. If you're short, tall, big, little lighter, that's where you want to be. Second row is generally we have a lot of our taller fellas. Obviously we don't have them here today, but generally that's where the long, tall, athletic guys go. When we move on to the line out, you'll see exactly why they go in the second row. And then the third row is what we call our loose trio. We have a number 8, a blindside flanker, and an open side flanker. These are the guys which, as you see the game develop, will be the ones around the fields, which are generally a cross between a back and a forward. Maybe a bit more size, a little bit more power, not quite as much speed, but generally very good ball handling skills.
A ruck is formed at any time there is a tackle between the offensive and defensive players. At this time, the ball is placed behind the offensive player and the teams can fight for possession until the scrum half comes and releases the ball into play. Coach Brewerton will explain the dynamics of the ruck and why it is so important to keep possession of the ball when being tackled.
In rugby, rucking is one of the key aspects of the game in retaining possession. From the flow on of what we've just seen, we're going to give you another example of a tackled ball situation where both the defending and the attacking team needs to ruck. Example now, we're going to have our attacking team take the ball up into a defensive situation we've just shown. Todd takes the ball up into the tackle ball area, boom. The first man in immediately has to clear that guy out that's over the top. So as the case we've just seen here, the ball is now made available for the next man. One of the key aspects of rugby is we have a clearly positioned offside line. So once that third man hits that ruck and creates that line, then you cannot come in from the side. That's why it's called a ruck, which creates the offside line. The second one, we're going to do the same scenario, but we're going to put a couple of guys on the defensive side and create a defensive ruck. A couple of you boys jump over there. Sometimes what happens in the tackle, if we do a gang tackle like we're going to show you, then there's a chance to create a defensive ruck into a turnover. Take the ball up again, please. Gang tackle, you guys get cleaned out. Boom. 2 people drive over the ball. That's what you call an offensive ruck, where you've defended well and you've blown past where the tackle man is and taken the ball off those. Rucking is a very crucial part of the game because if you don't do it correctly, you're going to turn the ball over 90% of the time.
The line out is a set play used by an offensive team to put the ball into possession after the opponent has taken the ball out of bounds or into touch. Both offensive and defensive players are lifted into the air by teammates to contest for the ball as it is being thrown in from touch. Coach Brewerton again on the dynamics of the line out.
Mark Brewerton here with the Austin Rugby Club. The next phase we're going to go through is line-outs. Line-outs are preemptive of what we talked about earlier, which is basically the second phase of the 2 set pieces. This is when the ball is kicked for touch, has gone out of bounds, then we get to throw the ball in. This is achieved by when our hooker throws the ball in. Now, ball goes up to the line-out, boom, through the hands to the halfback, which we talked about, wide, all the way wide. Mark Brewerton, Austin Rugby Club here again. What we're going to do is watch what we just did before one more time. We're going to speed the pace of it up. With our hooker, Steve Eat now.
Ball going in off the top, through the
Hands, wide, boom, 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 wide to our winger, scoring in the corner. Textbook for rugby right there off the top, and that's one of the reasons the line out is a crucial part of the game because it gives the teams an opportunity to get the ball in, get it off the top quickly and through the hands while the defence is still organising themselves.
I hope you enjoyed this informational video about rugby. I hope you learned more about the dynamics of the sport, including the scrum, the ruck, and the line out. If you have any other questions, please feel free to post a comment.